alive. Don't pay attention to my face. Shut up. Okay? I'm trying to make sure I get all this stuff off my face. Anyway, let me hop into the messages because baby, how some of this stuff came in, and this is also a confirmation for other people to overstand and understand. And I knew for like, let me just hop on in. For the longest, I already knew from way back in 2020 when I had started this. Well, actually, I started YouTube way before this. Now, the problem was with Johnny Luda was I started getting more views before he got his ministry or whatever you call it for that Hebrew Israelite nonsense. Okay, now mind you, you was raised Baptist as a Christian. Now you're a Hebrew Israelite. Make it make sense. But low key, you wanted to go ahead and make Keitra to seem like she wanted to be like into the Muslim movement, and your new brothers were the ones that was on your board for that ranch to create the coven, right? But something said something don't make sense. But the thing of it is, Johnny, it was just like, it was always been a weird relationship when it came between me and Johnny. Me and Patrick never had a fucking relationship because I was not ever really with him longer than like maybe that 45 minutes to an hour drive for me to get from Lawton to Oklahoma City to go get dropped off either at Rita house or Denise house, at Mary and Denise house, right? Now, something was telling me something stuck out so bad. Because you want to know what? Like I said, I can still mention and I still remember. Everybody used to always ask the question, are you and Freeman Jones twins? And it's like, shit, I mean, we might be, I don't know. But the only difference was to go ahead and throw it off. He had to be in a grade. He was in 8th grade. I was put for 7th grade. But however, even when I was in 7th grade, I still had to test with the 8th grade kids. So all my classes were always with 8th graders and 9th graders. So I was always doing, they knew I was 7th grade, so I'll have up to like 2 classes in my 7th grade, but I will always do 8th grade classes and 9th grade classes, right? And this is when we had Central Junior High School out in Lawton, Oklahoma. Now, the thing of it is, I only met Tony Jones that one time at the Patterson Center. After that, I did not ever see that man again. Because he was like, hey, aren't you, you little Sheila? And I'm like, what? Because everybody would try to call me little Sheila. Mind you, I don't look nothing like this woman. But when it came to the situation, this right here, it just leads to the fact like, okay, y'all were like cousins or some kind of weird shit. This was low key like incest, but nobody wanted to talk about it and keep the secret. Now I can understand, I'm not 100% sure because I can't find the obituary. Because usually anybody passing away in Lawton or in Oklahoma or Texas, you're going to be able to find that obituary, okay? And it was like, well, why is it that I can't find it? Even if you type in that person's name, their date of birth, the obituary will, pop up. So I was like, all right, so who did Johnny pay? Because Johnny went to OU, Oklahoma University. He used to play for Oklahoma University. So, of course, he still had his ties to his friends who are in the sports industry, on top of what I was already dealing with my son's passing, okay? So, like I said, me being way open to so many people right now, like, this is like on a multi-million-dollar level, close to billions, okay? Because what I'm going to get out of this is going to be billions after all of this is said and done. No questions asked, no ifs, buts about it. But however, he wanted to keep calling blasphemy. Mind you, I have not really ever really had a relationship with Johnny. Now, as a little girl, before they was trying to figure out certain things, Sheila and Bobby and Patrick, they would go together and go scam on whatever it is. Michelle would keep a distance from me, or Leslie, whichever name she's using as her alias for however that would go. And she will always keep a distance. The last time I seen her was over there at Elmore West with Lisa Johnson stayed over there by that school. That was the last time I seen Michelle. I ain't never seen her since then. We ain't never talked. We ain't never really been in communications. Like, she would send, like, if I go live, and when I had Facebook, she would, show up every now and again, or she'll just click a heart, but she would never talk to me, right? But then also they had ties we had ties to like Guam, Hawaii, had ties with the Arabics and the Mexicans and shit like that. Like, the ties when it comes from me, right? So as I'm sitting here like, yo, Sure, why would all this shit just go haywire with everybody, bro? Like, cause I could see if I had a connection with everybody when it comes to this, and the only person that I really ever really kept connection with over the years until I figured out that it was just like, to me, like I said, on my end, on my, how I perceived it when it came to my Aunt Rita, it was just more for her. It was like she was just out for her. It was never for her to actually, reciprocate. Well, if I, it's not even about that, bro, because our last conversation, it was just like I had to spaz out and just let her know, like, cuz, like, it ain't gonna work like that. Like, you may feel like everything is set for you, and I want to just sit here and talk to you. Just allow me to vent, allow me to have what the fuck it is that I need to feel, and all this other stuff. So me and her, we ain't talked in like a couple of years. It's been about 2-3 years since I talked. As a matter of fact, the last time I talked to her was before I even left to Puerto Rico. And then it was just after that, I just let everybody go. But then once I had that conversation with her and stuff like that, I just realized all that shit was like petty. But I already knew what was the midst of that, because Sheila was looking for that. Patrick most definitely wanted that. So it was like, if that situation, if they knew that they could separate me from talking with Rita on anything, they knew that they can just get through and get their way. Like, okay, well, we can buy her off and get her to shut up, throw her some money, she gonna shut up, or whatever the case may be. We can make sure she paid up or whatever and keep her shut up, which I know you got your car, she paid up. Now, I ain't searched her, I ain't looked her up, because I don't have Facebook. I don't look for nobody or none of these relatives on TikTok, so I honestly do not know what they're going on. This is just pure intuition, me going off of it. But however, considering how everything went, I remember channeling a long time, Mike Jones, Mike Jones? So I was like, okay, so we had Tony Jones, Mike Jones, Freeman Jones. Now, the situation with Freeman, because Freeman always gave me little, situations or whatever. And it was just like, okay, well, if that's the case, because I'm going to say he's a Taurus, if I'm not mistaken. But he also had brothers. But those, it was like, with Tony, when he got married to the new wife, they had all boys. But then I think she ended up having a girl, like, it was like in the 90s or something like that. I don't remember the kid's name or whatever the case may be. But they will always be like, oh, yeah, this person. Mind you, if I had to go ahead and bake my last dollar with all the situation going on, Sheila miscarried, and Patrick and them may have lost their kids or whatever the case, or they may have passed on. But in order for the situation to go on, what Denise had going on, because it was kind of like a domestic situation when it came to me and Freeman, and then it was like they said she had a baby prior to that passed away, which gives away, they was like, oh, little Tony passed away. But I don't feel like it was like, it's given like they try to give a false name to just like try to throw off my intuition, because even as a kid, if I sensed that you was lying as a kid, I was gonna call you out on it. Now, the only thing that I would say was Sheila, like, if she felt that she wanted to be vindictive as a kid, she would allow me to just speak my shit and people would get scared. Like, she would utilize, it was like I was utilized as a fucking weapon as a kid. And I'm just sitting here cooking. I'm like, Sharita, ain't no way that they went this fucking far with this shit. Ain't no way. I'm sitting here trying to convince myself and psych myself out. And it's like, there's no way for me to psych myself out of this. And I said, when it comes to Keitra, shit, she benefits, she get her money, she eating. But once she realized how deep this shit ran, I'm 1,000% sure she don't give a fuck about this. But then it's just like, all right, cool. Y'all doing that. Then I'm like, Angela, well, why would Angela and you Highness be in my energy? But I was like, well, I kept talking about bottom bees. Angie, all of them, Carla and them, they used to, do that stuff, 304 stuff, Lotless, you name it. She was like a bottom bee, but then she got with this other dude, which is, another dope boy, but of course she's controlled because she getting beat on, right? So, when it comes to Johnny likes control, especially when it comes to Johnny. But now you pretty pissed off because now it's like, oh, she gay. You can't do too much with that, but it's like, well, I'll treat her like the boy since she gonna be my yes girl, and I can get her to go ahead and do my stuff from the hotel, and then, but the benefit of this shit, it was like the person that they end up hiring, which was from Patrick and Sheila, Carla, and them, which they got on through their group of people of old friends that I used to kick it with, Sandra and all them. Sandra, Tammy, like I didn't know Tammy personally, but I knew Tammy was Sandra's cousin. Okay, so it's like it was a whole bunch of them. Okay, so I was just like, well, how do y'all all have these ties? And I was like, Shrita, ain't no way that all these motherfuckers try to play all this shit all my life. Already knew who the fuck I was, but they try to play stupid with this shit. But I was like, you know what? I don't put it past nobody, because I was like, shit, when we started like the YouTubes, me and Mercedes used to be on the phone constantly. Especially after she had her babies and stuff like that. I used to be on the phone with her all the time. But then once she started doing the readings and stuff like that, and I remember I started doing my readings in a different way where I can, do it Vedically. I can pick up on the Indian way to do it, right? And once I showed her, after that, it was just like, she goes ghost. I was like, oh, okay. That's odd. That's weird. But I was like, I'm not going to trip on that. Then on top of that, I was like, damn, what's our ties to Singapore? And then what's our ties to Australia? And then I was like, oh, all these motherfuckers was paid. The motherfuckers from Dubai, the motherfuckers from South Africa. Because it was like, okay, well, if y'all all in this same thing, y'all can go ahead and convince her to do this so y'all can get y'all stuff taken off. And I'm just sitting here like, y'all are so dirty. But their targeted people are usually people that they know for a fact have really bad relationships. Like they base this shit off of people that they know either have really bad relationships with their parents, or they were people of the system, or they were like people that was like really struggling in certain areas. And it's like with Johnny always had fucking networks. Like I said, he went to OU. So what ties and connections that you didn't have? Then like on that side, like it's athletes, track stars, football, baseball, heavy on the track, you know what I'm saying? Wrestling, you name it. So when it comes to all of them doing this, and I was like, I realized when my YouTube started going, and Rita was sitting there, I guess she was observing, trying to be the middleman, trying to keep the peace. But I remember asking her, like, why is it that Johnny don't want to talk to me? And then it was like, oh, well, you know what, well, why the fuck is Johnny listening to Patrick if Johnny already know over the years I've never had a fucking relationship with Patrick? And instead of him being a grown-ass man with his own D and balls, why couldn't he open his mouth and ask me, Sharita, what is your problem or issue with Patrick? Well, maybe if you had asked me yourself, Patrick, or maybe if you had asked me yourself, Johnny, you'll probably understand why I do not ever want to have a relationship with that man, because I don't believe in that man. I don't trust him. Anything that comes out of his mouth is a pure face lie. If it's not something to benefit him, he's going to go ahead and make sure that he can get his way. That's why him and Sheila been like this for years to go on, because they operate the same fucking way. And then it was like, okay, but it started getting a little bit deeper when it was like the people who I'll have relationships with. But the thing of it is, like, if I had to go back through the patterns, they'll be talking about money. They'll be talking about certain things and behavior. There's mannerisms. So I was just like, okay, so y'all part of this DL crew. Then y'all part of one, because anytime I had paid attention, because with James, he'll be like, yeah, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, which, he was looking to throw the hints. And he was like, yeah, she wasn't going to get it. Nigga, I got it all the way back in 2014 when he was talking about it. When he was talking about vibrations, I knew you and your mama was into some nonsense. Your mama was a dope fiend. Oh, well, me and his dad would do some things, but you and your son was the one that took him out. You and your son went on ahead and took that conjure lady out. So I was like, okay, so I know y'all patterns with y'all too. Now, I already know the pattern when it comes to Carl and Sheila. I know that pattern with that. They had already had Kiara under control. So wherever Kiara wanted, she could get her way because she knew all secrets between all of them. And plus, she was with it. She would not like necessarily do it because she knew pressing my hand, right? So I'm just sitting here like, why would y'all want to go so hard? But it's always been the talk of, okay, well, Marion left all this money. And I'm like, okay. When it came to that, on top of that, Papa Philip, I knew for a fact when I was trying to ask my grandma before he passed away, she was like, yeah, Philip had said he did something for you. But then Georgetta would have this habit, and it's a pattern. Yeah, and she will always wanted to test to see if I knew who she was talking about. Because I remember when Denise passed away, it was that question of, who's Marion? Marion, and she was saying Luther. I was like, okay, well, I'm aware of the last name, but I never knew her as Marion Denise. I always called her Aunt Denise. So when all of that started hitting, I was like, sure, you got to put the pieces together, but I couldn't do it quick enough. But now that I can, I was like, all this stuff is fit to go ahead and put all of y'all in the trash can. If y'all don't get Sheila, y'all better get Carla, y'all better get Georgetta, y'all better get Johnny, Patrick, Natalia, Rita, Johnny, Keitra, any and everybody that had a tie. Because it was like, dang, why would it be like that? Because I was like twin boys. Well, the only person that had twin boys was Fee. And then I'm sitting here like, okay, well, where did Desmond come? I was like, oh, that was, Lisa and them. But I was like, why would y'all want all these people to come at me like this? And I ain't ever. And it's not like I'm going to say, oh, I haven't done anything to those people. Ever. And then for them to speak on me how they've been speaking on me, y'all don't even know my experience. Y'all wasn't around me. Shit, if anything, if I did, I probably see Anthony and Shannon for just a tiny little bit. And then most of the time I was with Deandra. And then it would be us in her room, having to be stuck in the room, listening to music, doing what it is that we usually do, minding our business, right? So, but I was like, also, when it comes to it, I was like, Paula. I was like, well, what the fuck Paula gonna want? Paula, Big Paula, Little Paula. In the end, you had Tavia Coops. I was like, bruh, ain't no way all these dumb motherfuckers is all involved in this shit. These are like old town hick motherfuckers trying to get a lick off somebody like it's cool. But then I was like, well, y'all Paul family, Aaron and Michelle and them, I was like, honestly, truly, I said, ask Aaron and Michelle, ask Michelle, not Aaron. Because Carla and Sheila would try to keep control over Aaron. But Michelle, when she did her big one, that's who y'all need to talk to up there in Chicago. But they was trying to get her hit. But she got hip to all that shit. That's where Isaiah Casper came in. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, well, what is it that y'all, knowing about stuff? And then it was like, okay, well, if y'all using that incident with Sequencia, we came to a whole conclusion with that, and we all had spoke about that, and that shit happened one time, it didn't never happen again. And then it was just like, okay, so this was y'all ground to go with this around Lawton and around everybody in Texas to go feed this to Johnny and the rest of them. Okay, now everything makes sense. So y'all sitting here got these motherfuckers convinced that I was like child pedophile or molester or some weird shit, and this is how y'all going along with all this stuff. And then I'll say, you know what, that makes sense why that boy was acting like that, because it was like, ain't no way, because I'm like, we ain't on the same thing, but it's like, y'all running with this stuff. So all that shit that was going on in Orlando, all that shit that was going on in Kissimmee, St. Cloud, even down to Puerto Rico. So logically, if somebody wanted to justify his shit, anybody would sit there like, yeah, we need to get rid of that person if they touch on kids and shit like that. I mean, it'll make logical sense, but it's not sense if it wasn't true. Because it wasn't true. It wasn't nothing like that. And I'm just sitting here like, God damn. It be your own fucking people that don't even know you, don't even have no relationship with you, don't even have no type of bond, couldn't tell you nothing. But you running some shit from out of state. But to me, right now, if I know anything and I know any better, they here in the city. And then at the same time, I said for them to get their ties to the PD outside of Carla and Shane and them, I said, you know what? You went on ahead and went to go get LaGarry. He was the same one that was abusing on Mary and Denise, and you wanted to go ahead and make me repeat what Denise had went through. I said, how dare you? You're disrespectful. You're disrespectful because you knew you messed up when I caught on to Vicky years ago when she had her nieces, Morgan and the other Kiara that I knew from Pine Hills, which leads to the Vargases, which leads to everybody else from over there in fucking Pine Hills. So I was just like, y'all are some dirty individuals going out here and telling a lie. But I guarantee with every lie that you're telling about me, I have a whole bunch of truths. Because I realized when I was trying to do my post office stuff from my phone, I couldn't do it. So I was like, yeah, you definitely, because I'm hearing Emirates. So someone could be from like Dubai. Someone could be from Lebanon or Israel or Egypt or Morocco. We had ties from them people from a long time ago. But I was like, okay, well, it makes sense where you was having all these people there. And then the ties for me, when it comes to me, actually, I was like, okay, well, the looter side people, who is the actual father, which leads to Tony, who's he was only the child of Big Johnny. He wasn't the child of Rita Mae. Okay. So it was just like, okay, so am I taking on the looter? And I was like, okay, or am I taking on Rita Mae's side? And I was like, well, no, you actually don't really have all ties to them. They are your relatives by grandfather. So by parental, with Tony, me not knowing who he is fully, he was the actual dad because Sheila was like they bottom bitch at that time. Shit, bottom bitch is gonna do what bottom bitch do. As her mama did, she did. Monkey see, monkey do. Correct, correct. So I'm sitting here like, yo, I said that would be an elaborate plan. I was like, that was smart. That was cool. I'll let y'all know that, you know what I'm saying? I can take my L's where I can take my L's, but the facts going to be the facts when I figure that shit out. That's when you're going to have a bigger problem. And now you started an unnecessary war that I'm about to finish. And how I'm going to finish this, now the craziest thing for those to go ahead and go look at the situation, because now the person, LeGarrette, went on ahead. Now you causing yourself to go ahead and look at everything. How does it feel to lose your pension? How does it feel to lose that pension? How does it feel for Vicky to go ahead and have her little two-door coupe right now, right? Oh, she was supposed to know that was me running apartments. Yeah. Run me my stuff ASAP, because I'm telling you, play again. Because when it's time for the feds to come on in and Bavard and everybody else to come in, because everybody's looking like, shit, she knows. Yes, I know everybody's ties. I been knew it, but I was like, Tyler, Florida. Okay. That's where LeGarrette went to go run off with G, Caleb, and Lahana. Got them kids thinking that, oh, their mama didn't love them. No, tell them the truth, LeGarrette. Tell them the truth, LeGarrette. Vicky, you lucky I ain't rock your shit when I seen you. You lucky. Because how dare you sit here and try to play? This is a dangerous game that you do not play. And you already know when you seen me, that's like playing in the devil's playground. And like I said, the prey with my program, because shit, she knows the ins and out of how all of this was going to run. I sure the fuck do. Down to the CPS, DCF workers and everybody who you all since had their ties to. When did that situation happen? That was like between 98 and 2002. So most of you, that year right there, and they go back, LeGarrette, when they go ahead and see all that stuff right there, overstand and understand one thing for sure, and two things you're going to be certain of. Everything where you living at is gone. What little bit of pension and social security and whatever money that you was getting off of this real estate, gone. It's mine. Those benefits that you was getting off of Marion Denise Luter, it's mine. So it's safe to say every single last one of you better stay out of my line of face, because either way it goes, either I'm going to get street justice or court justice. But I'm telling you that street justice won't come from my hand. It won't come from my hand. I promise you that. I guarantee you that. I have other people that be willing to handle that happily with no issues, no questions asked. Who are they? And point them out to me. You're a shaman, right? But you left your football friend to go ahead and strangle the baby mama. You gave that man the wrong message. Oh, well, we got ties to the music industry now. We got the ties to this. No, not no more. Run me my shit. I got the ties to it now. Because if I start dropping some real hard truths down to the address, down to the locations, because go ahead and check the community post board. Everything is not for play and everything is not a game. So whenever they get ready to move this stuff out of my building, out of my building on my properties that were left unto me. Brooklyn, New York, right? Oh, you act just like that man. He ain't even here no more. Yeah, because y'all took him out. Actually, Michelle did it. That's why she been ducking and dodging, because she know coming into my line of fire, she knew I would know that she did it. That's why she's like, hold on, well, y'all tell me what she said. Y'all, what she said this time. And what she said, that's why y'all got to play telephone, right? And y'all took the stuff that he had. You thought his folks weren't going to look into that too? You thought his folks weren't going to look into that too? Oh, they don't know that they got actual grandkids because y'all sitting here trying to come up with everything? Let Anthony folks know that Marcus exists. Oh, you thought you had a problem now? Anthony folks, y'all knew y'all couldn't match Anthony folks from Brooklyn. Y'all knew that. But let his folks know for a fact that he know that people was here and y'all was hiding them letters. Y'all was hiding the mail. It's all right, because it's going to come to me. I ain't got to do no come to me spell. I ain't got to do nothing, but I did go ahead and submit to my ancestors today for the gratitude for going ahead and guiding my steps to who it is that I need to see. From state to state, from Tennessee to international places and over the seas. Show them and reveal them to me. And he has done that very sweetly. Chef's kiss. For how every single last one of you are about to go down. How dare you? How dare you do that? And you try to pull the same shit that you did with Mary and Denise. I told y'all I am a conqueror. I wasn't supposed to make it past 33, so you was trying to make me go ahead and relive, your mama's stuff, right? But I'm of your daddy. You your daddy's son. You your daddy's kid. Because my daddy and your daddy, I didn't have your mom. But you had a pure hate for your brother because of your mom? That's crazy work, bro. Oh, I'm looking forward to this journey for when the Lord go ahead and shut y'all down, because it's going to be immaculate. I could feel it in my soul. I could feel it in my spirit for everybody that's got to go. Y'all got to go. Y'all got to go. You got to go. Oh, they ain't gonna know that it was y'all making that money too, putting me on black web, going ahead and trafficking me just to keep me quiet so I wouldn't get to the money from Anthony. From Anthony? Anthony was speaking to me the whole time. My daddy was speaking to me the whole time. And you gonna have to try to convince me that punk ass nigga Patrick Luter was my fucking daddy? That nigga ain't my damn daddy. Cause Sheila couldn't tell the truth between y'all. So you had a personal vendetta, Patrick Monique. What kind of fucking name? You got a bitch name for your middle name, so maybe that's when you cross-dress and shit. You damn near pussy, you in your 60s. Yeah, I was about to say another word. Cause he was about to get reckless. I got you, Pops. So when the cops come through, I got them. So he can get a proper burial. Y'all see, man, y'all reckless. So when everything get ready to come through, how it gonna come through? I don't know you. Now, hopefully, whoever it is, the folks from New York, because I'm hearing somebody saying, dang, nah, we good though. Because I'm going to let bygones be gone, because now it's above me. It's above me. God got me though. But y'all want to go ahead and send out. See, the thing of it is, y'all, we undercover. Ain't nobody going to know because Garrett got us covered over there in Florida. Garrett ain't got nobody covered because once Garrett went on ahead and made his particular phone calls, it did alert about 2 to 9 people or up to 29 people in that group. And they had to go ahead and go way back, because they go way back. And they remember him speaking on Denise, Mary and Denise Luter. They remember him speaking on that. They remember LeGarrette speaking on that when he went to Taylor, Florida, and Taylor, Florida made sure that he got the greatest people that he should know that would kind of keep it quiet, which were part of his little swinger group, him and Victoria and stuff like that, right? And it's like, yeah, we can shut down how they got going on because, yeah, you know, my nieces and them, they know who all she kick it with. So I'm going to tell them, Vicky, you just as guilty by making up a lie. You guilty by associating. And you lying on me, bitch. We ain't have no relationship. We wasn't ever cool. I told you always was going to have a problem with me that day. And when you went on ahead and had them people come to that house and you grabbed them kids from over there at her house in Oklahoma City, you knew you was going to always have a problem with me. That's why Megan and Kiara went on ahead and ducked off, because they already knew what type of time it was on. Sending her ass in like we was gonna be cool and friends, baby. We got a problem. It's gonna be beef like that. Keep your distance and keep your mouth shut and keep my name out your mouth. Because having to see me on the street, that's a whole different problem. But like I said, you got to touch first. You can say what you want all day long, but this shit right here, this is unforgivable. That's unforgivable. Justice will be served, but you got some people around me to go ahead and try to do a hit. Oh, they gonna catch them before they try to do this hit. I'm not concerned about none of that. I'm not concerned. Even if I have to defend myself, I am not concerned. Thank you for the intuitiveness. Thank you for my discernment. Thank you for the spiritual protection. Thank you for giving me your gifts. Every single last one of y'all. Thank you for giving me every single last one of y'all gifts. And y'all get the curse. Isn't that crazy? Somebody sitting here like, damn, I've been having these migraines and the nightmares trying to show me that such and such is passing away. And you've been getting them phone calls ever since, hey, such and such in the car accident. Yeah. But see, your police buddies, when you went on ahead and had hit Garrett up, you forgot that Garrett was under investigation a long time ago. Well, at least he didn't know. He didn't know because he had ties, and that was just a man that had to get his bravado off and was in his feelings because Denise got more rank than him. When you was beating on her in Topeka and stuff like that, and her cancer and stuff like that. Now, with Rita finding that true stuff out, just like, whoa, wait, y'all told me it was going like this. I thought y'all said this. And don't let her find out that you lowballed her on money. Now you gonna really have to hear Rita's mouth. You thought my mouth was bad. And you know Rita liked to fight. Latroce liked to come on out. And I think this is the time for her and Latroce to come on out. Come out and play. And y'all know that ain't a good day, but it's like jealousy and envy because it's coming to me and not to y'all. And then y'all wanted to use her to go ahead and do it. But you brought that new car, didn't you? It was nice and clean. Running the contract ASAP, but I'm telling you, let that stuff not show up. Oh, well, I had ties with with these people, but I guarantee the right people have been watching, and them watching and putting the pieces together. It seems like Sharita is not lying. Officer Butler from the sheriff's department, yeah, he was smart enough to go ahead and say, wait a minute. But y'all said that y'all did what and what, and who was who. And see, the smart investigator and the smart officer and the smart person in those type of situations, they're going to ask questions. Because if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. But where is this money going to? But I thought you said, wait a minute. Because the biggest thing is it's a niece, right? And now, what was the issue again? Y'all can't even explain the same story twice, let alone 3 times. Because even when they got to do the little choreography in the courthouse based on them transcripts that the new judge is looking at, because there's a new set of eyes on it, they're saying, okay, on these transcripts of this 300, these 34 pages of these people, they said this. But according to her, and even them going ahead to pull up my old social medias, they ain't friends. They don't have they may have ran in the same mutual groups, but they ain't friends. So I was like, everybody makes sense in this situation. It's just like, I hate that it had to go this way, but shit, it is what it is. What's up? Another day, baby. But for people to sit here and try to play games like that, this shit just really just irked my nerves. That's why it's just like, I don't do people. This is why I have, it's not like I hate people. I will help any fucking body, but playing with me in my face, that's the worst thing you could do. And then you get mad because it's like, I hate when she talking like that. Get out your feelings. Get the bitch out of you. Cause ain't no bitch in me. Cause now it's like now I gotta be real rough. I'm giving you tough love. Some of y'all ain't never had tough love. Y'all used, oh, be soft with me. Fuck all that gentle shit. Is there the next when I turn this one off? Yes, I'll do open reads. Don't worry. But it's just like, why would people want to sit here and do that? But let me leave that. I'll get back off of here. Give me 5 minutes and then I'll come back on the live. If you want to go ahead and ask questions, you're more than welcome to ask questions, okay? I'll put it as an open live free Q&A, all right? Over and out.